Hello, my crafty friends. Well, today I have a fun little technique to share with you called the ink dragging technique. And we are going to use it in a variety of different ways on some embossed cardstock. Hi, it's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. In this episode of Stamptastic TV, I have 4 different card ideas that I want to share with you that feature the ink dragging technique on some embossed cardstock. Now, ink dragging can be used on just regular cardstock without the embossing, but when you emboss your cardstock, it gives it such a fun look. Now, the cards in this video feature the Timeless Charm stamp set from Stampin Up. Now, this particular stamp set actually comes in a bundle, so you have the stamp set, and there is also a coordinating die set. And the set will be available beginning July 6th. So this is one of the many new online exclusive items that are going to be launched on July 6th. So definitely check out the link featured in the description below this video so that you can go check out all the fun new products that are available online. Now, these products will not be found in any catalog, so be sure to go out there and take a peek. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so first let's talk about the technique itself. So basically the ink pad dragging technique involves, well, an ink pad. So you can use any ink pad that you have to complete this dragging technique. The next thing, of course, you will need is a piece of cardstock that is embossed. So I am using the beautiful Quatrefoil Embossing Folder. So it has a very detailed image, and I found it to be just really great with this particular technique. Because of the detail, you don't have to apply a lot of pressure with your ink pad to get a fun look. So you can use any size cardstock piece. I just decided to start with a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece, and then I just embossed it as I would with any embossing folder. Next, I chose to use Berry Burst because it coordinates with the designer paper that I'm using, which is from the Masterfully Made Designer Series paper pack. But you can do this in any color, and you can use this with any embossing folder. Obviously, the more detailed the folder, the better, but you could use it with folders that are less detailed. So the first thing you want to do is just open up your ink pad, and you'll notice on the ink pad that there's this part here, the handle, I guess you would call it. So you want to make sure the handle is facing you, and then you just want to tip your ink pad upside down, and I just have some scrap paper underneath here, and you just want to kind of start off the paper. You don't lay your ink pad flat, you just kind of tip it on an angle. So then you just lightly go across the embossed paper, and look how beautiful that turns out. And then, so the next thing I did is I just turned my paper and I just did the other side. So I kind of start off the paper and then just lightly drag it. And if you miss a spot, like I did, you can just lightly drag it again. And you can keep doing that to add more ink to the paper. So it does use up quite a bit of ink, and if you press too hard, you will end up tearing your ink pad. So you want to press very lightly when you do this technique. All right, so now I can use this as is, or I can cut this up to use this in my card making. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can use this. Okay, so here are a couple of card ideas, just very simple layouts that I created with some pieces that I cut from this 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of embossed cardstock. So I just used the ink pad dragging technique in Berry, and then I also used it in Night of Navy. And then I just took that piece and I just cut it down to create little pieces for the card. So you can get all of the instructions for both of these cards in the printable tutorial that I have, which is featured in the description below this video. So there's a little link there you can click on and get the tutorial for free. Okay, so the second way that I used this technique in my card making is just to do like partial ink dragging. So instead of dragging ink across the whole entire piece of cardstock, I'm just going to do part of it. So this time I'm going to use Night of Navy ink And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make sure that this part of the ink pad is facing me. And then I'm just going to flip this over. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this down the right side of this embossed piece of cardstock. All right, and that's what it looks like. And then I can go ahead and I can use this in my card making. So let me show you some samples. So here are a couple of cards that I created with that partial ink dragging technique. So I just took the ink pad and I dragged it down the side, and then I just decorated it with a variety of different die cut shapes and some designer paper. Same thing here. So this one I did a little ink pad dragging down the side, and then this one I decided to drag that ink pad right down the center, and then I just added a little focal point and did some decorating. So again, the instructions for completing these cards and all the measurements are in the printable tutorial, so you can get all that information below. What I really wanted to do today was just kind of focus on the technique. So I hope you enjoyed a look into the ink pad dragging technique. Okay, so there you go. Now you have 4 different ways that you can use this ink dragging technique in your card making. And if you enjoyed these card ideas, feel free to download the printable tutorial. You can find the link in the description below this video. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. And leave me a comment below to let me know what you enjoyed most about the video and the cards shared here today. Have a fun and creative day, my friends. Take care.